Welcome to Commercial Real Estate Investing. I'm Tim Diesel. Today I want to discuss Nda Agreement, Non-Disclosure Agreement. And you can always go online, www.dieselcommercial.com, and you can get all kinds of information there. If you want to reach out to me, you can, and we would be glad to help you any way we can. So this question comes up every once in a while, and I kind of want to shed some light on it. I don't see a lot being talked about it really, and it sounds simple. Basically, what an NDA agreement is in a nutshell is the seller of a property or a business or anything else they're offering. They're basically telling you, look, I don't want you to share this information with anyone else. So that's really the gist of it, right? Now it goes into 5 pages of what is really considered sharing and what you can't do, all this other stuff. But the nutshell of it is you're not going to discuss this with anyone else. And that's all what that is. So the idea behind it is, let's say a seller has a 10,000 square feet retail building. Now, keep in mind, you can use NDA obviously for everything, apartments, warehouse, whatever. I'm just using an example here. And he's got a retail building and he wants to advertise and he wants to sell it. So the NDA agreement is basically, listen, I'm going to give you some information and I'd appreciate it if you don't share it with any other buyers. So a couple things. Number one, if you're ever buying a property and you notice 2 properties are maybe close to each other in proximity, what'll happen is the seller doesn't know if someone is competition, checking out their tenants, how they're operating the building. So the seller's point of view is, well, I don't know what's going to happen yet. We don't even know if we're going to close. So I want to be protective with as much information as I can, right? So now that's kind of their angle of it. The buyer, obviously, in all the time I've been doing this, I have not seen anyone get sued for an NDA. Most people in business are ethical and they want to do business the right way. There's not too many slime balls the way they show them on TV or anything like that. I'm sure they're out there, but it's not as plentiful as you might think. So most of the time, everyone's on the up and up. Hey, don't share this with anyone. They're not going to go email blast it to 10 of their friends, maybe a couple of their partners or something, but it's not that ridiculous. So in the event of the buyer, now I really haven't seen a case where if you're buying a retail building, let's use the same example, the same 10,000 square foot building, I haven't seen too many cases where you're going to get the leases. You're not usually going to get the leases until you have a deposit in escrow, we're in contract, we're moving along. Initially, you might get the lease term. So you might see Subway sandwich shop, 3 years, and they're paying, $2,000 a month. Or you might see the Pizza Hut, or whatever it is, right? Sally's hair salon, and she's there for 5 years and she's paying $1,000. So they're not necessarily going to break out the lease and show you the lease bumps and what she can and she can't do and all 25 pages of that. They're really not going to show you that stuff. They're just going to give you an idea of, hey, this is how much money we're making. And if you'd like to make an offer, this is what we would expect. Now, the inspection period, and as I mentioned, there's always 2 inspection periods. There's your financial and there's your physical. Your inspection period happens during your financial inspection period. So you're going through all the paperwork. Your attorneys are probably reviewing the leases. Unless you know how to review them all yourself, obviously. And that's when you would get all that information. But for the most part, you usually are signing the NDA because you're saying, look, whatever you share with me from here moving forward, I'm not going to share that with anyone else. And most of the time, you're really taking someone at their word. Because like I said, I haven't seen too many people or even met someone who said, yes, I got sued for an NDA or I had to go back and sue someone. Usually that's not the case. It's the mental stigma of, look, I signed something that says I'm not going to share this with anyone, and I won't. And that's usually you're taking people at their word, but it's more of a mental barrier. So I don't want you to think that it's not as high and mighty as people think it is, and it's really not so low level. So I would definitely say include it if you feel that maybe you're passing on a lot of sensitive information and you know you have to keep things quiet. But for the most part, most people are not going to go out and share the information of your deal to someone else, right? Because they want to buy it for themselves or their partners or their group or whatever the case is. Most of the time, they're not taking your information and shopping it around. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you guys for listening, and enjoy your week.